Well, good morning and welcome back to Log Cabin Firewood. Well, since it's raining today, we got a little bit going on. We're going to be playing with my MS250, my 044, my 500i, and we're going to be playing with the pellet smoker. Stick around. Let's see what we can get into. Hey guys, my name's Jack, and this is Log Cabin Firewood. If you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. And if you've been here for a while, thank you so much for your continued support. It's a rainy, messy, just muddy day. We were supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow today, but that storm stayed like west, and it's almost 40 degrees here, and my backyard's mud. Man, I cannot wait to just have this whole space here, all the way up to the door, just be concrete. It's gonna be amazing. But since I'm outside, I wanted to show you why I'm gonna be inside. Let's take a look at how much wood we have burned in 11 weeks so far. So it is now January 19th, and we started this bad boy up November 5th. So it's been roughly 11 weeks, and we have burned this much wood. So we've burned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 face cords. We can call it 8.5 face cords. 8.5 face cords in 11 weeks, or 2 and a little over 2.5 cords. Dude, I am so impressed with this thing. When I had that stove in the basement, it was either 90 degrees in the house or it was 50 degrees because I'm cheap and I don't like turning on those heat pumps because those things are electric, and below 30 degrees, heat pumps really just don't work very efficiently. But this thing, whew, I'll tell you what, if you have the means or the way to get an outdoor wood boiler, definitely consider one. Doesn't have to be a gasser. If I didn't have neighbors so close to me, I would have definitely got a 6048, or I might have been able to get away with the model below that one. I'm super pleased with this thing. I actually had a buddy call me the other day. He was asking me how this thing works and how it's hooked up to my house because he is interested in getting one of the pellet versions of an outdoor wood boiler. I'm not really familiar with them, but from what I've seen on the Central Boiler Facebook group, there's a lot of people that are impressed with them, and they don't smoke at all. Like it's already dry pellets, so when they come on, they smoke less than this thing. This thing has started chooching a few times, but it was because of user error and me not loading it properly or not cleaning it as I should. Cleaning on this thing is it's not hard, but it is tedious. And you know, every 2 weeks or whenever I see a decrease in my burn efficiency or my burn rate, I open the back door up and clean this thing out. Let's go inside because I don't have enough clothes on to be out here. Man, my hair's a wreck, guys. So we're in the man cave, and because Steve from Up and Smoke Firewood calls his man cave, that's what we're gonna call mine. The Garage Mahal. I think his is more Garage Mahal worthy. But we're sitting here, got the TV fired up. We're watching Willie's Firewood. He's got that brand new all wood muscle wood. Him and Heath are over there playing, so that's what I'm getting into. I think it's a cool machine. I have 2 saws here on the table. We got the 044. I got my MS250 that is just trashed. I'm gonna clean this saw up, a little bit of saw maintenance, and then the 500i, I put it away dirty like I always do as well. And then the MS250, I've got some chains up here. You can see how many chains I have. Like, I have a ton. These are all 18s, these are all 16s, and these need sharpened. And then I went through the week before Christmas, and I got all of these sharpened on my fancy Harbor Freight grinder. This thing, for the money, it's really nice. The reason all these chains were hanging on the walls because I smoked them with either hitting my blacktop in the driveway, hitting a piece of stone, or dirt, or something that's not supposed to be in wood. But I did go through and get a good edge on all of these now. Are they perfect? No. Will they do a really good job? Yes. I mean, that's almost factory. I did not do the rakers on these yet, so once I get it on a saw, I will go through and dress the rakers on them, but it's nice. I've got 14 chains ready to go now. We're gonna tear this saw apart. We're gonna blow it off and get her cleaned up, sharpened up, all that good mess. I haven't ran this saw, I don't know. I forget the last time I ran this saw. This is a small, this is my smallest saw. It's a good saw. You know, any sharp saw is a good saw. But yeah, this thing's filthy. Like, I ran this thing many times over the summer when limbs would fall down, and I just never cleaned it. I rode this one hard and put it away wet. I'm also going to try and change this from this little chain. I think this is 325 or something. I got to look at the bar. I'm going to try and change it to something else. Let's see here. Does it have numbers on it still? This bar and chain. Oh man, that's what it is. Yeah, it's a 325 pitch and 63 thousandths. I wish I had another chain I could put on here, which I might try to put an 18-inch bar on this. That way I can run the same chain on everything. But we'll get this one sharpened up and cleaned up for the time being. So we just opened the garage door. I'm letting the air compressor build up some pressure. I figured I would show you the boiler. It just fired up. And you know, every 20 minutes the thing does go on a pulse setting, but there's not much smoke coming out of this thing. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit right now, but this thing will clean itself up, and you know, I'd say less than 10 minutes this thing will clean itself up. So we'll come back and check it out. And it kicks on at 165, so we've already gained 1 degree, and we are at 77%. And like I said, this thing really just kicked on a few seconds ago. But if you see here, like, I don't know if you just saw that smoke just like dissipate. Like John frickin' Jeep says, it's not really smoke. It's the last 10 or 15% that's left in your wood condensing into a water vapor. These gasification stoves are super, super impressive, guys. Definitely still super proud and just super ecstatic with my purchase. Got to put the safety glasses on, guys. Even though they're all scratched up and I can't see. But you don't really need to see when you're just blowing off dust out of your saw. So we went through and we blew out this saw a little bit. I definitely neglected this saw a little bit more than I like to. I definitely don't advise running your saws and just letting them sit for months or years. I don't think the last time I ran this saw, I think it was like the fall of 2023 was the last time I ran this thing. So it sat filthy for over a year. I need to do better. And yeah, just take care of your stuff. You take care of it, it takes care of you. Just walking back out here to give you an update. You can see this thing's cleaned itself up. I want to see what the burn rate is right now. We're only at 97%. So, I mean, there's still a little bit of like residual something coming out of this, but not like those old school burners that just sit there and really, really smoke. Back to the saws. Now, these Harbor Freight chain grinders, they're not the best thing in the world. Are there better ones out there? Yes. Does this thing work though? Also, yes. I don't bother dressing the stone. Yes, it could probably use some dressing. Bert just did a video. I think he has the Timber Tough. I think that's the name brand. He's got 2 of them set up to where he can do both sides. I actually have to rotate this around, and a lot of people have complained that these don't stay true, but for me just cutting firewood, this thing, it works great. But there's a few adjustments on here. You can either raise or lower it to where you don't damage your straps or whatever you call them on your chain. And I basically get it to where it touches the bottom, and then I will push this a little bit to where it just barely touches the tooth. And in no way is this a how-to. I'm just showing you how I do mine. So here, let's blast this out real quick. We'll start with the yellow link so we know where we are. So now we have to loosen this thing up, and I do these at 30 degrees. And this is where a lot of people say they don't like this grinder because they don't know how true these measurements are. Again though, for me, this works fine. Now, does this thing produce the sharpest grind ever? No, absolutely not. But for what I'm doing, like I've been saying, for firewood, I don't know if you could see that or not, if it'll zoom in on it. Maybe. It's not bad. I like the edge that this little grinder puts on my chains. But here we go. There's another one that I didn't have to hand grind because I suck at hand grinding, and now I can go ahead and put that saw back together. All right, so I noticed one more thing before I put this saw back together. The nose here is kind of like flat. And this saw, I bought this from the neighbor a couple years ago, but I need to dress this bar a little bit because it's got some burrs on the whole rail pretty much has a burr on it. But I have one of those bar dressing tools, or you could just take your flat file and just take the burr off of it. It does help a lot. Let's go do that real quick. So all we do here is we put the bar in the vise, give her a little crank, and then this right here is the bar dressing tool. It's a nice 90-degree surface here, and then you got a little stone in here. But you could just take this and run it right down this thing, and it will clean up your bar. You could do the top, and you could do the sides all, together with this tool. So one of the things I would suggest whenever you have to dress your sides up here is take your West Coast saw raker gauge or whatever you have to clean out the rail here, and just clean this thing out real good. You don't want those metal chips in there grinding up your chain and then getting stuck in the nose. I might even take this back outside and blow it again. Just little stuff that makes things last a little bit longer. While we are here, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Ken down in North Carolina. So we met Ken at the Hope event. He came and participated and helped us out, and he sent me a care package for Christmas. So I'm gonna let you tell me what this is in the comments. Ken, you can't comment because you told me what this is. So I did not know what this little tool is. Tell me in the comments what it is. But this was a gift from Mr. Ken. It's a simple little tool. It's got a little hook thing there, a little hook thing there. It's pretty simple for what it is, but let me know in the comments what this is used for. And I'll tell you, Ken was watching my one video where I was tearing apart the 500 and putting something new on there, and I mentioned something I was going to replace, and that right there helps me replace that part. So let me know. But Ken also sent me this. So this is like a master kit or something, I don't know what the name of it is, for Stihl saws. This thing has pretty much a bunch of little extra nuts and bolts. I mean, you got bar nuts, you got a ton of bar nuts. These look like some type of stud, I don't know. This is just a ton of good stuff in here that if I lose something, I have it. I don't have to go shopping around. So very thoughtful of you, Mr. Ken. I definitely appreciate this. You didn't have to do this, man. But thank you. I really appreciate it, brother. I hope you had a good Christmas. So I'll put the bar right side up this time because they do cut a lot faster if the bar's right side up. But we'll get that right to where it touches the chain. She's nice and loose. Pull the bar up. You see there's some slack in there. Go in there, tighten up your chain just until she touches. And you're good. That's all I do. So I figured I'd show you what's going on with the pellet smoker since I did talk about it in the intro. This was another thing I was slacking on, was seasoning my cast iron. But this stuff's been in here. This is the second round that we've done it today. I normally try to at least hit this stuff one time per year, but the one pan that I use all the time had like a dry spot on it, so it definitely needed to be re-seasoned. But yeah, like I said, that was the second time it's been done today. And I was super pleased with how the first seasoning came out. So I love cooking on cast. Do you love cooking on cast? All right guys, so I'm not gonna bore you with the rest of these saws. I've got the 044 to do. I've got the 500i to do. I've got to pull those pans out of the smoker in a little bit. So let me know in the comments what you think that little tool is that Mr. Ken sent me. Again, Ken, thank you so much. Super cool of you to send me some goodies. I like goodies. Take care of each other. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you back here on Saturday. And thanks so much for watching.